it being worth that much. Like, let's see here, Estabot. Type in internet, internet.marketing, and it says Hudson. Okay, but that extension ain't even in here yet. Yes, it is. What the hell? I typed that in. Scrolling back up. Internet dot. What the hell? Why does it keep asking me to verify? Man, what the I did one search. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god. Internetmarketing.com. How? How, man? How? Annoying. Very annoying. So I can't appraise that right now because obviously Estebat's being a jerk, you know. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily. You can list the appraisal number in your listings, like in your Flipper listing, if you're listing them on Flipper. But I would focus primarily on monetization strategies, basically letting somebody know what they can actually do with that domain. So, for example, if Esteban appraised internet.marketing at $3,000, your monetization methods need to be at least worth $3,000, which is an interesting way to look at it because then you're putting a price tag on monetization strategies at that point. You know what I mean? So if you say, hey, you can build out a website, launch a product, and make $30,000 or more, all of a sudden that Esteban appraisal value is worth nothing because the monetization strategy alone, you know, kind of made it worth something. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, Eduardo? But that's just me. Like, I wouldn't attempt to just sell a domain name based on the appraisal value alone. You know, although oftentimes if a domain name's appraised really well, chances are it's probably a really good domain name to begin with. But I wouldn't just rely, like I said, just on the appraisal of Esteban. I'd have to rely on other ways to go about selling it. Like if you can appraise a domain name at $1 million, and it's like, yeah, I'm not just going to rely on the fact that this is appraised at $1 million. You know, I'm gonna come up with monetization methods that make this $1 million seem like nothing. You know what I mean? At least that's just my way of looking at it. You know, plus if a domain name is actually appraised at $1 million, the amount of monetization strategies you should be able to come up with should be absolutely through the roof. So, but that's just my opinion. Does that help you out, man? Hopefully that helps you out. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else got any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions as I see if my Facebook ad is performing as well as I would like it to. Let's slow here. That's all right. Cost per link click, Jesus Christ, $7, man, man, oh man. So this is obviously wrong. Showing 2 subscribers from 1 link click. Unless, of course, it's all in these presets over here, which most likely could be the case. Actually, no. Results 2 confirmed emails. Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. So it was tracking a few different things. So the only one I'm actually worried about is this confirmed email address here. Basically, I deleted this one here. Wasn't using it. Website leads, that could work, but the only one I actually care about is the confirmed email. Basically, the result I'm actually looking to accomplish with this actual ad. So, yeah. I think I'll keep this, but then, of course, I'll edit it a little bit to get rid of some things that I really don't want. So, for example, frequency I can care less about. The budget I can easily change. Delivery active, don't really care for that. The results, what I want. Reach, don't really care. Cost per result, interesting, definitely need that. The amount spent, definitely need that. End schedule, clicks, CTR, that's the click through rate. CPC is the cost per click, that doesn't matter. Impressions don't matter. Let's see, let's apply that and see what this looks like here. So now we have click-through rate, link clicks. We have a clicks, link all right here. So I might want to say link clicks. Let's see here. We got link clicks. Going to move that up there and get rid of that one because clicks all is basically anything. That could be like button, commenting, share, things of that nature. All right. So relevance score. We can keep everything else in here. Actually, we can get rid of website purchases. Click-through rate on the ad, and then my cost per click, which again, I don't really care about the cost per click. So now we got something that looks like this. So link clicks, cost per click, again, none of this doesn't really matter, cost per click, because what I'm basically paying for are the conversions that I'm actually getting on the ad. So yeah, there's that. Basically. Not bad. This ad here got me 60 opt-ins. I was paying $4.12 per opt-in, which again isn't bad. This one here is $1.69 a click. It's actually kind of high. So, but we will see. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and save this and call it important stats. Now I have a name for it, and it's been set as the default. So now, of course, if I were to view the actual ad itself, we can see one click. This could have been somebody actually clicking on a link twice, or this actually could be someone seeing the download page twice, even though they only clicked on the ad once. So, and $5 a day, this is like nothing. It's only been like 2 days. So we will see what happens from there. What's this? I getting messages on Facebook. Who'd have thought? Hello, man. I need your help. No. That's how I feel about that. Ghana? Really? Yeah, I can't help you. But there's Facebook ads in a nutshell, basically. And we're also using it to actually help build the my Facebook audience as well. So for the most part, it's one used to generate traffic, send the traffic to, my website or whatever. But then it's also being used to, as well, build the audience, the Facebook audience. That way, if I wanted to, I can easily start targeting those that like me on Facebook. If I had, like, say, 100,000, 10,000 Facebook fans, I could target them and not target anybody else, basically. And the point of the link building campaign was to send traffic to the page. And if I were to show you guys this, actually, I'll show you it right now, basically. So if I were to show you the campaign here, I think it's under assets, but just really, come on now. It's not images, not pixels, or any other stuff. But I know it's under assets. So, um, let me go back to the business manager and try and leverage these assets, because normally it's in here, but these are all pixel stuff. I'm not looking for pixels. I'm looking for the actual audience name, because then, the place where you create your custom audience, basically. And yeah. And we're gonna just, nope, that ain't it. Oh man, how do I find them? Audience insights. We'll go here. Insights. Let's go, man. Why do you keep up insights? Jesus Christ. Man, the hell. All right, cool. Because someone was asking. As soon as I see the questions box, leave it to the questions box to move incredibly slow. There we go. Damn. All right, cool. Now the question was asked: what demographics should we target for online marketing products make money online? You shouldn't, actually. Not even gonna lie to you. I wouldn't even bother targeting those in the make money online space. Especially with an angle of making money online, because the biggest issue you're gonna run into is these guys may buy one thing from you, but then after that, they don't take this nearly as seriously as they should. Not nearly as seriously. I would know. I built an email list of like 5,000, 4,000 people, and the results were shit. To be honest with you, they don't take it nearly as serious as someone who has some skin in the game. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is saying something like, "Here's how to make $100 a day," versus "Here's how to get 100 subscribers today." Yeah, they're pretty much the same thing. The end goal being to make some kind of income, but the mentality of someone, "Here's how to make $100 a day." Oh, okay, cool. I can just do this one thing and just not bother with anything else. Versus someone who understands, like, 100 subscribers. Why is that important? They want to know why it's important. And then I'm just like, they understand the concept. They're like, yeah, I kind of know that I need an email list. Meaning they're much more willing to buy things from people. It's like the thing about domaining, right? Why domaining works so damn well is because in order for domaining to work, you had to buy a damn domain name. That's the only way it would work. You couldn't apply a tactic without buying a domain name, because it would never work. You know what I'm saying? So, if anything, the first thing I would determine is the actual target individual. Like, who do you want as a customer? Like, who do you want on your list? Do you want someone who's going to just waste your damn time? Or do you want someone who's pretty serious about making an income online, regardless of what the number is? It could be $100 a month. Truth be told, I'd rather take somebody who wants to make $100 a month versus someone who just wants to fuck around and not take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? So the first things first, before you even think about targeting anybody, is determining who you actually want to work with. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the first thing, of course. And that sounds like a research audience kind of thing. But it's legit. It's really that serious, because it would suck to build a huge ass email list of people and none of them buy anything from you, unless it's geared toward that, here's how to make a profit in 12 minutes kind of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Um, that would suck, because then it's like, from a marketing standpoint, you would understand, like, this shit ain't gonna fucking work. Like, if you know without a doubt, like, this is not going to work, and yet that's what your list is buying, it's like, why the hell did I even build this list of people who are just going to buy crap that don't work? It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So you got to really make the decision now. Like, who do you actually want to be a part of your business? You know, like I said, for me, I built up an email list of people who were interested in making money online with affiliate marketing, right? And that's the thing. When promoting just affiliate marketing based offers, um, essentially what happens is you don't necessarily have to buy anything to get started with affiliate marketing. You can easily throw up a YouTube channel and get started with affiliate marketing. You know what I'm saying? Versus telling someone like, hey, you want to build an email list. There's no way around you having to buy an autoresponder. You kind of have to buy one. You know what I'm saying? So, and therefore, if someone's willing to pay for an autoresponder account, they're somewhat willing to take things a little bit more seriously than someone who's not. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because think about it. I'm not picking on you or anything. I'm just saying, like really think about it. Um, we'll say affiliate marketing, and of course, I'm actually just open this up basically, and I'm just gonna make a new slide. Okay, so we have. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. Put some text in here. Hopefully, you guys can see that. Let me frag. There we go. So I can actually see what I'm working on here. All right, because you guys need to be able to see this text, right? Because it's pretty important that you guys see the text. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just zoom in on this. There we go. That's a bit much, but it'll work for now. Let me increase the text size to like 48. All right, can you guys see this text? Hopefully you can, because you know. Hopefully. All right, so we got affiliate marketing crowd, or I'm going to just say MMO for short. MMO. The make money online crowd, and then we have the email marketing. Jesus Christ. Email crowd. So we got the MMO crowd, and then of course we got the make money online crowd. Okay. All right, cool. So the person inside of this make money online crowd is, their mindset cool to make money using the internet. Let's see what else we got here. Don't want to pay for things. And I can actually show you guys actual proof of this kind of mentality inside of my own Facebook messages. I can actually show that to you and be dead serious about it. Like, this is the kind of mentality folks who just want to make money online actually end up having. They don't understand, like, they got to invest money to start things. Okay, so we have that. What else? Don't want to do work. Let's see. They believe something from nothing. Something from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Something from nothing. Let's see. What else? Let's see. Get rich quick. Because that's their mentality. How can I make money online fast? I'm sure if you looked at the Warrior Forum, you would see people asking this question. How do I make my first $100 today? It's like, go cut some grass or something. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So there's that. Now we're going to take this into someone in the email crowd. Okay. They're not thinking short term. They think long term. Obviously, if they understand email marketing. Let me actually underline that. There we go. What else? Investor mentality. Okay, because again, you don't pay for an autoresponder. You invest in that autoresponder, basically, because you're gonna constantly use the damn thing. Let's see here. You want to pay for things, obviously, because especially if it's going to help you build your list. You're willing to pay for the tools necessary to actually go about doing that. Yeah, believe in hard work, obviously. Hard work because it takes work to build an email list. There's simple ways to go about doing it, but it still takes work to build an email list. you know, something from something of value. Of value. Right? And the only reason why I say that is because in order to get somebody on your email list, you got to give them something of value. I'm pretty sure we all know that, but still, in order to get someone on an email list, you got to give them something of value. Regardless of what it is, it has to be something of value, though. And again, like I said, longevity, long-term income, and not this get-rich-quick nonsense. Basically, this person thinks. Let me make sure. There we go. Sorry, the questions must get in the way. There we go. All right. So, like I was saying, this person right here thinks it's cool to just make money online so they can make Facebook posts on cars and shit, right? And I only know this. This is not even. This is bigger than just make money online industry as well. Anything network marketing related is also the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? Meaning, I'm seeing people in cars posting how much freaking money they're making, and yet their only source of getting people involved in their business is posting dumb shit on Facebook. If you were to tell them about Facebook ads, email marketing, they wouldn't know what the hell you're talking about. All they know is posting on Facebook. They're not paying for anything. They don't want to pay for anything to continue to make more money in their businesses. You know what I'm saying? I know it's because one of them is an acquaintance of mine. And I'm just like, what the hell is it really? Her only form of getting people involved is going to Facebook and then talking about, ooh, new thing or new member. I'm going to just put MEM. That's her only form of promotion right there. Right? And here's what happens with this kind of mentality. If Facebook one day just decides to just kill her off, like, yeah, you're done. And it's happened before, like Facebook can actually like block you from using their platform for like 30 days. It can actually happen. It's a real thing. Okay. Meaning you can't, it's happened to a few guys actually. But if Facebook just decides to just do that, there goes her promotional strategy out the window. You know what I'm saying? If she's posting in Facebook groups, that's out the window. If she's leaving comments on other people's statuses, that's spamming, first of all. That's a quick way to lose friends. Which if you just alienate the people, like just reach out to the people you actually know, like, and trust about your thing, just to get them in so you can make a quick buck, then you're just going to lose friends, obviously. And the reason why is because they're thinking short term. It's short term mentality. They think it's cool to make money. They think it's cool to get something from nothing. They don't want to work hard, which is why they're posting on Facebook. They've been sold the dream of making money online. Now, if we contrast that with someone in this crowd, right? That's the worst star ever, but whatever, right? Someone in this crowd, the email crowd. And again, it's just a segment of the market. Email marketing. Someone in the email marketing crowd, someone who understands, if like my current lead magnet is how to get 1,000 subscribers in 30 days, right? And someone who downloads that lead magnet, first of all, they already are paying for things because they have to have an email autoresponder, pretty much. They have to have one. If they don't, I don't even recommend one in the damn PDF report, which, by the way, I should probably go make that change. But they already pay for a tool to build an email list. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, they're paying for this tool, so they're already thinking long term. And the reason why is because why would you build an email list if you weren't thinking long term? The point of the email list is to continue to make sales in your business, right? So obviously they're thinking long term. if there's something to buy, right? Like a new tool that helped them build their email list. So if I were to recommend Thrive Leads, right? It's a WordPress plugin to help them build their list. That's an investor mindset right there. That's not one of these, oh, I'm gonna just get rich quick. No, because they actually have to use this tool. They actually have to use that in order to make it work. You know, they actually have to use it, install it, and then the hard work comes in. It's like, in order for Thrive Leads to be considered anywhere near effective, you got to drive people to your blog posts, your pages, to make this thing that you paid for actually end up working. And then, of course, in order to build an email list, something from something of value, they understand that. In order to get people on their email list, they got to offer them something that makes them want to give up their email address. And then, obviously, like I said, the long term income comes from just building the email list. You know what I'm saying? This person here, they're working pretty damn hard. They're going to YouTube, making some posts. You may see them on Facebook. You may see them on, that's like the worst B ever. You may see them on, I'm going to just put forums, F for forums. You may see them paying for traffic. You may see them doing all kinds of things, basically. All kinds. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing a hell of a whole lot more than someone over here in this space. There's a reason why, like, a lot of the gurus, like the real gurus, not like these fake actors who claim to be gurus. I'm talking like the real OGs who've been doing this for years, very long time. There's a reason why they don't really cater to folks with this mentality, like this whole get rich quick. They want nothing to do with them, something from nothing. They want nothing to do with those guys. Even Jamie himself, like, back in the day, putting things on ClickShare, right? CPA offers. After a while, Jamie's like, yeah, it's cool to make money, but this is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because these customers only end up wanting to get rich quick. And it's like, when we try to sell them something that actually requires effort, they weren't buying the shit unless you were doing it for them. You know what I'm saying? So your customers, the customers you would get from this crowd about this here, my God, man, it's ridiculous. It's literally night and day. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty bad. So, like I said, real quick, you will want to determine exactly what are the characteristics of someone you actually want to work with in your business? And on the flip side, what are the characteristics of someone you don't want to work with in your business? You know what I'm saying? Like, quickly determine what those are, and then just go after those you actually end up want to work with. So, for example, if one of the characteristics of someone I actually wanted to coach was they're always on time, if someone's late to reply to a damn message from me, I'm not going to work with them. You know what I'm saying? If I made it crystal clear that, hey, you have 24 hours to respond, and they don't get back to me within, say, 3 days, I'm not working with them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's obviously somebody I don't want to work with. They couldn't respond within 24 hours. I'm not going to work with you. You know what I'm saying? Or if you scheduled a free coaching call, or if you scheduled any kind of coaching call, or scheduled anything, and they knew exactly what time it is that you were going to be starting your thing, and you told them, like, hey, I'll be calling you at this time. You show up at that time. You give them that call. They don't pick up. You keep calling, and they still don't pick up. After 1 minute, you're like, okay, not working with this person. You know what I mean? So punctual people, really, are the kind of people I actually want to work with. You know what I'm saying? Active and engaged people who actually not only just do things, but also ask questions as a result of them doing things. You know what I'm saying? So if someone came in here and was all like, yo, man, I posted this listing on Flippa, not getting any traction. I'm getting comments. I got a question from a potential buyer and things of that nature. That's someone I am much more willing to help than someone who is not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to help someone who doesn't really do the work. You see what I'm saying? So if anything, before you even think about targeting, like I said, get really crystal clear on who exactly it is you want to work with. Really. And that's domaining. That's anything in life, really. now that I think about it. But it's very important, especially online, especially online. So I know that doesn't answer your question, Eduardo, but I just had to just share that. You know what I'm saying? Because it really is that important. It really, really is that important. So yeah. And then as far as targeting goes, this becomes easy at this point. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, because then your targeting, it becomes incredibly easy. And what I mean by that is because you know exactly who you want to work with, nothing you say either in your ad or on your email capture page is going to reflect anything else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can say something like how to get 1,000 subscribers in 30 days or less by using these three tactics every single day. You know what I mean? Saying things like that is like first of all, using three tactics every single day for the next 30 days. That's going to immediately put off anybody who does not want to do the hard work right away. Right? If you made a disclaimer like, yeah, this takes hard work, you know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. Okay. You can say prerequisites, must have an autoresponder. Because believe it or not, something that simple, and I got hiccups all of a sudden, but something that simple can easily put off somebody who doesn't want to pay for a thing. Like your ads and your marketing is going to reflect those you actually want to work with, but push away those you actually don't want to work with. You know what I mean? It's like imagine starting a webinar presentation and you're trying to sell something, and then you immediately go into the who this is for and who this is not for. And you immediately go into the who this is not for first of all. And you completely just castrate these people, right? You don't want anything to do with these people. You can be as mean or as nice as you want, doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. But you be blatantly honest about, okay, I don't want to work with this freaking crowd. If you believe in getting rich quick, get the hell off this webinar. Okay, if you think you can get something from nothing, get off the webinar. If you really think you don't have to pay for things in order to build a real long-term dependable income using the internet, you have no business being on this webinar. Nothing I teach you is going to make freaking sense. You don't believe in the hard work. You don't believe in investing in yourself in order to get, you can actually rally the troops, essentially, getting people who are a part of this crowd much more motivated about your webinar. Because they're going to hear that. They're going to be like, yeah, screw those guys. I want nothing to do with those guys. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? You're rallying the troops. And then on the flip side, I'd be like, now who this is for? If you believe that, one, this is a long-term deal. You don't believe in something from nothing. You believe in something from something of value. You believe in value first, money second. You believe in you actually have to work, put in some kind of effort in order to get the results you're looking for. You have to invest in tools and resources and courses and knowledge to get the things you actually want in your life. And this webinar is for you. You know, you rally the troops by telling who this is not for, and then you bring everybody back. Like, yeah, here who this is for. So I almost guarantee you, anybody who is a part of this crowd here would immediately leave your webinar. But first, they will be very vocal, very vocal about their position on things. Like, I'm nothing like that. You know what I mean? Try and argue that point, and it's like, no, don't argue. Be honest. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, Eduardo, Jerry, Alyssa, Tom, and everybody else? Does that make sense? Let me get rid of these drawings here. There we go. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Yes, very good starting point. It's a very important starting point, really. Because if you don't know who you want to work with, you'll attract people you don't want to work with. You know what I mean? That's another way to know. Like, yeah, I don't want to work with these people. You know what I'm saying? So, You'd be surprised. Me, I'd rather just like you guys get crystal clear on who you want involved in your business. This goes for anything. This isn't just like say subscribers and customers. This goes for partnerships as well. Like you can take that same mentality. Like if you're, oh yeah, we schedule a call with the guy and the guy doesn't show up, that tells you right off the bat, like, yeah, I don't want to, I'm not going to work with this guy because he failing to show up to a call. Why the hell would I want to do anything else with the guy? You know what I mean? So yeah, you would literally apply that to especially business sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I was very strict with it, very strict. There was a point where we were scheduling coaching calls, and I would tell them, "All right, give me a call at this time." Right? They had the schedule, they had my number, well, a Google Voice number, I should say, to call. All they had to do was call the number at that particular time, state their name, and I would accept the call via Google Voice. Right? That's all they had to do. That was it. Right? And we could schedule that call, say 1 o'clock, right, or some other time. Say 1 o'clock, 1:30 on a Friday, right? 1:30 on a Friday. You got to be calling me at 1:30 on Friday. If that person did not call me between 1:30 and 1:31, I was not accepting the call. Meaning, if they called me at 1:45, wasn't accepting the call. If they wanted to call me at 2 o'clock, wasn't accepting the call. If they wanted to reschedule the call, wasn't doing it. I didn't want to work with that person. Reason why? Because they never showed up at the time in which they said they were going to show up. So I wouldn't want to work with them. You know? And doing that actually made me much hard. One, it did actually make me a little bit harder to work with, but it also showed like, hey, I value my time. If you're not willing to show up at a time that we both agreed upon, why would I ever want to put any more time into you? I'm not. You're not to say you're not worth it, but technically at this point you're not worth it. You know what I mean? So it's how that works, man. It's how that works. And yeah, that's a bit, like I said, it's a bit strict, but it's your business. I mean, imagine that. It's your business. You treat it the way you want to treat it. If you want people who's going to just waste your time, by all means, cater to this crowd. I'm not saying everybody in this market or in this crowd is going to waste your time, because there are some people who will do the hard work. They will, buy things, but they're still in this mentality here, this get rich quick, or this buyer's mentality is what I'm going to call it, instead of this investor mentality. You know what I'm saying? So, and then as far as targeting goes, that's easy. You know, that's incredibly easy. You just look at those in your market that are celebrities. So like the authorities in your niche. You know what I'm saying? So if we look at guys like, say, Frank Kern, right? The self-appointed president of internet marketing. Okay, so Frank Kern is a authority in the industry, in the internet marketing space, in the marketing space, I should say, online marketing, business education space, right? So if I know that, then that means I can easily go out and target Frank Kern. Frank Kern. Okay, I could target Frank Kern. And then I'm like, okay, I want to find people like Frank Kern. So I'm in Audience Insights right now, by the way. Okay. Just so you guys know, this is Audience Insights. And so we have Frank Kern, we have Digital Marketer, we have Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, Brendon Burchard. I don't know why Donald Trump is listed in there. We got Grant Cardone, Digital Marketer. Let's see here, Russell Brunson. So I can easily target those guys too. So for example, I know Russell, I can target. So we'll type in Russell. I spelled his name wrong, of course. Russell Brunson. Okay, who else we have? We had a digital marketer. Let's see. We have Brendon Burchard. Okay, we got David Wolf. I don't know who that is. Don't even worry about it. But you see what I'm saying? So I'm just finding guys like him. So Brendan Bouchard, that's a very long name. Brendan Bouchard. There we go. And yeah, I'm just finding pages just like him, that's all. So, unfortunately, it's really hard to target these guys simply because a lot of them don't really. Granted, Russell Brunson still talks marketing, but he also owns ClickFunnels. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't even talk about, traditional make money online stuff anymore. He's talking about the use of a funnel. You see what I'm saying? So, you have to be careful. Like I said, when on Facebook, in my opinion, it'd be best to keep things more business oriented, if that makes sense. So with me talking about email marketing, that's like a business thing, believe it or not, because a lot of businesses can profit from doing it right. Um, Talking about something like free report reveals how to make $1,000 in 30 days, even if you're a complete beginner, that's not really business sense. You know what I'm saying? But if you, like one of my mentors right now, he's like, free video series reveals, free 3-part video series reveals how to start an online business um, built around, say, your hobbies and interests and things of that nature as more of a business sense, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, if the first people I would actually target are those involved in your market, really. So my current ad is targeting Frank Kern when it should be targeting somebody like probably Russell Brunson or digital marketer. And the reason why I say that because although Frank Kern is known for marketing, his positioning isn't really that of a marketer. You know what I mean? At least the persona he wishes to, portray to the marketplace. It's not that of a oh, I'm an internet marketer. It's not like, nah, man, I'm an online business owner. You know what I'm saying? Still. But still, I'm sure Frank's people still understand the concept of building lists and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Say those are the people I would go after. Go after the celebrities first. And if it makes sense, you can go after actual services. So if I was in the health space, bodybuilding.com is what I would actually, let me get rid of Russell real quick, is what I would actually target. And then because looking at bodybuilding.com, I know I can target Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I can target Tasty. Why would I want to target? I can target Muscle and Fitness, target UFC, depending on what the actual offer is. I can target Jim Stepani's people, Men's Health. I can target Gym Memes, in my advertising and get those people involved in what I'm actually doing. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is audience insights. I access this by actually just typing in audience insights. But normally you go to assets, but I don't really see that here anymore because it always changes some shit. You know what I mean? But oh, never mind. It's right here. Audience insights. Really. So, and then of course services if it makes sense. So, for example, because I'm talking about email marketing, I could target get response. I could target Aweber, Infusionsoft, Fusionsoft. Now I could target these companies and have it make sense, really, because obviously, if someone's on Aweber, Get Response, or Infusionsoft, they know what an email autoresponder is. You know what I'm saying? So, constant contact, eye contact, constant contact, MailChimp. Now you can actually target these folks specifically because, hey, they all know what this stuff is. We're looking at softwares here. You know what I'm saying? So, does that make sense? Tom Eduardo. Does that make sense? Let me know. Yes. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So aren't you guys happy you came to the webinar? I was trying to do that, just didn't find the right box. Yeah, the box you would type in right here is the interest. So to get to audience insights, like I said, I typed it in inside of search business, but apparently you click here in your business manager, it's right here, which I didn't know. I'll probably just click on all tools, and again, that's not even a link. So I'll just audience insights, and then from there, I would just literally start typing in my interests to figure out other interests like it, basically. So obviously, Amazon.com has no relevance to Aweber Constant Contact, so obviously a little bit wrong there, So, like Barack Obama, what does it have to do with Aweber and any of these other platforms, basically? So I was trying through the demographics. That's why I didn't find it. Yeah. So, no, you got to go to page likes, man. Page likes. Because this here, this is great information, by the way. Looking at demographics, so you're like, damn. This pretty much tells me that if I were to target these companies, I should be targeting women, between the ages of 25 and 44, maybe even 54. Not to bother with anyone 18 to 24 years old, you know what I mean? Anybody over the age of 65. Their lifestyle looks like Summit Estates, top professionals. Their relationship status, married. Education level, pretty damn high. Their job title, mostly management and sales. Look at that. Management and sales. Isn't that something? You can create an ad specifically targeting those in the management based positions. You know what I'm saying? So imagine it like, want a better way to manage your email database? Now I'm talking directly to the person who is in management. And although email database is like, what? But better way to manage your email database, they're like, oh, well, hell yeah, I want a better way to manage this email database, or want to make more sales with your email database, right? Like, hell yeah, I want to make more sales. You know what I'm saying? So you can go location, you can target location. As we can see here, 1% of this audience is actually in Atlanta, Georgia, which is interesting, Oh, whoa, damn. 4% of this audience is in New York, 2% is in LA, Chicago, Illinois, Houston, Texas. Top countries, United States, because that's all I have selected right now. I can actually come here and say United Kingdom, Ireland, New Zealand, Canada. I spelled that wrong. Australia. Okay, so then again, looking at location stuff, we can see that the bulk of the marketplace is in the United States and the United Kingdom. So I wouldn't even bother targeting those in Canada, Ireland, Australia, or New Zealand. You know what I'm saying? So personally, in my ads, I'd most likely target those in the United States only because it makes sense. Granted, I'm sure people in New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, Canada, and the UK are really cool people. It's just the time difference would be the issue. So if I decide to host a live webinar, and I'm like, yo, webinar at 5 o'clock, and someone in the States, they would either get on this webinar at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, right? So between 3 and 7, that's when the webinar is going to be for them. Someone in freaking New Zealand, on the other hand, or even the UK, may be on this webinar at like 2 in the morning, where it makes absolutely no sense. To me, this webinar is always 5 a.m. Yeah, see, it's for me, it's 5 p.m. You know what I mean? So, big time gap there. Big time gap. You know what I'm saying? So, we can look at their activity level. All right. So, comments, post likes. And there's a reason why this is pretty much always going to be higher. Post like, because it's easier to like a post than it is to make a comment nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Device users, desktop and mobile. What does this tell me? This basically tells me that pretty much people are on mobile device. I mean, combination of the two really is what I should say, and not just, yeah, these people are just on their mobile phones, because if that were the case, we would see that they were just on their mobile phones. But that's obviously not the case. You know what I'm saying? What else? What else? What else? What else? We got, looking at here, devices, computer, 34%. And yet, iPhone, iPod, 35%. So, what are the primary devices? As we can see, really, really interesting, right? 86% of this market is using Facebook on their phone, while 14% of them are actually using Facebook on their desktop. Desktop only. I just happen to be one of these desktop only individuals, and I don't really use Facebook on my iPhone. Household. Okay, now we're going to start having some real fun. Okay, household income. So we know not to target anybody with less than 30 grand, but we can target those with 75 to 100 grand. And that kind of makes sense too when you look at these numbers, 19, 21, 18%, because you got to remember the bulk of them were in the sales and management category. You know what I'm saying? So they're owners, not renters. Interesting. Average size of the house, one adult. Home market value between 200 and 500,000. Spending methods, any card, which is interesting. Bank card. Nobody does travel and entertainment that much, which is good. Gas and store, that makes sense. We have primary credit card, 23% or 63%, and then their primary cash is 37%. So we're basically just studying, the audience, really. Retail spending, low. All right. Online purchases are high, though. Well, on the low side. Again, wow, that's interesting. Okay. What are they buying? Purchase behavior. What are they buying? Let's see. Business purchases, 1%. Wow. That's interesting. Very interesting. Food and drinks. So they like to party. Clothing, 57%. You're not really buying kids' products that much. Subscription services. These are subscription services, so I expect that to be a little bit higher. In market for a vehicle. Let's see here. A lot of them want a hybrid vehicle, but the higher is more luxury. You know what I'm saying? So you get an idea on who it is we're actually working with, basically. So I pretty much know, based on just the demographic, the location, that I should really just target the United States, basically. That's pretty much what that told me. Top language didn't even look at. English.us. So essentially, when you're making your Facebook ad, you would actually type that in. Type in English and just select US, basically. I do it in all my ads, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. There we go. As we can see, English US. See what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how we do that. Audience information, that research. Pretty important. Pretty important. So, oh my God, the fireworks. The fireworks! Car alarm's going off now, man. Annoying. Any questions? about what I've covered today. Or any more questions, I should say. Let me know. Let me know. Eduardo, Jerry, Alyssa, Tom. Oh, man. Any questions? Wow. Let me know. That's Facebook demographics, though, in a nutshell, by the way. Not that hard. Not that hard. They said, though, best part, most important thing, though, before you even dive in advertising or anything of that nature, is to figure out, who it is you want involved in your business, who you don't want, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So, as I wait for GoToWebinar to, there we go, finally, damn. Questions box disappeared, so. But yeah, that's my key takeaway. Determine who you actually want to work with, and yeah, work from there. Man. So that's that. Any other questions, comments, and or concerns? Let me know. Let me know. Any more questions as I do some research on this Halo Top ice cream that I keep asking? Let's see. Since the server crash, it'll be appreciated. Sure. I'll take that and send that to the peoples. You know what I'm saying? So, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Cool. All right. Well, with that said, it's called Halo Tops ice cream. Never heard of it, by the way. Somebody's been telling me about it. So, all right, cool. Well, with that said, we've been on this webinar about an hour and 5 minutes. Like I said, I didn't want to keep you guys too long. So, with that said, we're going to get on out of here. And hopefully, what I shared with you guys today actually helped you out a lot. I know it did for me, discovering all of this, like the whole who do I want to be involved in my business. It's something nobody actually talks about in business at all, ever. You know what I'm saying? Um, so just getting crystal clear on that alone can actually change the way you do things. All right. So with that said, you guys have an incredible 4th of July. If you're in the States, if you're not, have a great rest of your day. And we're going to get on out of here. Okay. We're going to start back up regular operations on Thursday at 5 o'clock. All right. So with that said, I will look forward to talking to you guys on Thursday. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your day, I should say. All right. Talk to you guys later. Peace out.